In those days, again a large crowd had nothing to eat. He called his disciples, and said to them, I have compassion on the crowd, because they have been with me now 3 days, and have nothing to eat. If I send them away hungry to their homes, they will faint on the way, and some of them have come a long way. His disciples answered him, How can one feed these men with bread here in the desert? So he asked them, How many loaves have you? They said, 7. Then he commanded the crowd to sit down on the ground. He took the 7 loaves, and having given thanks, he broke them and gave them to his disciples to set before the people. They set them before the crowd. They had a few small fish, and after blessing them, he commanded that these also should be set before them. They ate and were satisfied. The disciples took up the broken pieces left over, and there were 7 baskets full. There were about 4,000 people. Then he sent them away. Immediately he got into the boat with his disciples and went to the district of Dalmanutha. The Pharisees came and began to argue with him, seeking from him a sign from heaven, to test him. He sighed deeply in his spirit and said, Why does this generation seek a sign? Truly, I say to you, no sign shall be given to this generation. He left them, and getting into the boat again, he departed to the other side. Now they had forgotten to bring bread. They had only 1 loaf with them in the boat. He cautioned them, saying, Take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. They discussed it with one another, saying, We have no bread. Being aware of it, Jesus said to them, Why do you discuss the fact that you have no bread? Do you not yet perceive or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Having eyes do you not see, and having ears do you not hear? And do you not remember? When I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up? They said to him, 12. And the 7 for the 4,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up? And they said to him, 7. He said to them, Do you not yet understand? They came to Bethsaida. And some people brought to him a blind man and begged him to touch him. He took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the village. Then when he had spit on his eyes and laid his hands upon him, he asked him, Do you see anything? The man looked up and said, I see men, but they look like trees, walking. Again, he laid his hands upon his eyes. The man looked intently and was restored. He saw everything clearly. Jesus sent him away to his home, saying, Do not even enter the village. Jesus went on with his disciples to the villages of Caesarea Philippi. On the way he asked his disciples, Who do men say that I am? They told him, John the Baptist. Others say, Elijah. And others, one of the prophets. He asked them, But who do you say that I am? Peter answered him, You are the Christ. He charged them to tell no one about him. He began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things, be rejected by the elders, the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed. But after 3 days rise again. He said this plainly. But Peter took him and began to rebuke him. Jesus, turning and seeing his disciples, rebuked Peter. He said, Get behind me, Satan. For you are not on the side of God, but of men. He called to him the multitude with his disciples, and said to them, If any man would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it. For what does it profit a man, to gain the whole world and forfeit his life? For what can someone give in return for his life? For whoever is ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of that person will the Son of Man also be ashamed, when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels." He said to them, "Truly, I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see that the kingdom of God has come with power."